I can confirm my dad is not an alien. He's not a CIA agent.
Thank
and
you.
He's not a Freemason.
Right.
And he's not in the Illuminati.
There's no black people in the Illuminati anyway. Now, you're doing a great job. I see it. I see you networking. I see you collaborating. I see you getting your own accounts, getting your own deals. You're starting to remind me of me when I was your age, you know? And that's what I like to see. I'm like, yeah, he's going to make it. You know, definitely going to make it. I can see it in you. I can see you have the talent, the skill. And then whatever skill you didn't have, I saw you develop it right before my eyes.
Don't chase money, chase value. Right? When you chase the money, it's always running away from you.
Yeah.
But when you chase the value, the money is going wherever the value is at.
Boom. The crazy thing is, the more you push through those feelings of those self-limiting beliefs, the more natural it becomes to overcome them. They might slip in, but you'd be like, man, no, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So over time, it becomes easier and easier to push that negative thought aside and know and stand firm in who you are.
Right now, I'm in the best shape of my life.
Oh, yeah, you're
I'm
doing
consistent in the gym. I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I'm eating the right foods. I'm developing new skills and just continue to keep working on myself.
I love it. I see. I'm a witness.
What's going on, guys? This is a new podcast that I'm starting with my dad, and it's going to be called The Master and the Apprentice. And so this show is going to be basically about his life experience from his perspective and kind of just passing on wisdom and knowledge to me, but not only me, just people watching at home, maybe around my age. And then also getting my perspective as a 25-year-old growing up and finding my own way in my own life. So this is going to be cool.
That's right. I love it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. Good. Nice to be on your show.
So one of the main reasons why I wanted to start this show, I wanted to confirm that we are not clones.
Oh, we're not clones. Yeah. We made it to clone status. I wish I had a clone because I can get more done.
Yeah.
How many hours do you see me working a day?
It's a lot. I don't even see all the hours because I be sleep. So when I'm asleep, this guy is still up working. I don't know how he does it, but I got
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I see you pass out on the couch. I'm just getting my cup of coffee to start my day.
Yeah. He's waking me up, starting the coffee machine, keeping the lights on. I gotta get up and turn the lights off.
Oh man. Oh, sorry about that. My bad.
That's all good.
Yeah, once I get up, I'm up. I'm thinking everybody's up with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking everybody's ready to go. Oh my goodness, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. I think this is a great concept, a great idea you came up with, because I think a lot of people would like to know both perspectives on life, and I definitely would like to know, because we get kind of disconnected. Like, I'm kind of disconnected from your age group, because when I was 25, that was a whole nother lifetime and a lot of different situations. When I was 25, a lot of stuff didn't exist back then.
Right.
So my perspective on reality was totally different than your perspective of reality, you know? So yeah. I think at 25, I was probably just, really getting to consistent cell phones,
Oh, God.
I mean, it was just, definitely there was of course, no Chat GPT, no Google search, not at the level it's at now. A lot of stuff just didn't exist yet. So this fast information age that you kind of grew up in, I'm in it now because I'm living it from my perspective, but from your perspective, it has to be a lot. It just has to be I don't know if it's overwhelming, or maybe it's just overwhelming for me because I'm older. For you, it's just natural.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was actually going to be my first question was, what was your life like at 25? Like, what were you doing at 25?
Yeah. See, we're on the same frequency. So you got my DNA for sure. That's crazy because I had no idea what the questions were. At 25, my life was pretty simple still. I was running a business at 25. That became fairly successful. Internet marketing company. Just when the internet kind of really first started. So I'm talking about the beginning stages of the internet when hardly anyone even had a website or didn't even know what a website was yet. And so that was for me my initiation into the digital age.
Yeah.
And I literally risked it all. Like I was running behind on bills. I was, getting financially strapped, chasing my dream.
Yeah.
And my dream was to develop a massive internet company and be one of the very first ones. And it caused a lot of problems in my household. I'm not going to lie at the time. The person I was with didn't believe in me, didn't believe that I had the capability of pulling that off. But I stuck to my guns and I said, no, this thing is going to be big. Just hang tight. It's going to be big. I'm telling you. And that person, for whatever reason, just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Because, I think sometimes women, when they feel like they lose a little bit of stability, it gets them off their rocker a little bit, They get a little nervous, and they're very emotional creatures. So it creates this emotional swing. I didn't let it sway me, though. You know me, I just keep grinding.
Yeah.
I'd be like, whatever, okay. Let me get back to my thing over here.
All right.
But I didn't let that deter me, because I knew that it was going to give me the ability to help change the world. I had read a prophecy, a Hopi prophecy, that talked about information will travel to and fro instantaneously on the web. Yeah. And I said to myself, when I read that prophecy years prior, if I can live that long, if I can live to when that happens, the whole world's going to hear my voice. So my perspective was, at that age, is like I lived into the age where, I could begin to spread the word. If I can figure this thing out, I can literally magnify myself all around the planet. And also, of course, I can supply a lot of services to businesses and generate some income. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that either. So, but my perspective was really simple back then, man. I mean, there wasn't street cameras and traffic cameras, and, you weren't being watched every 5 6. You weren't under surveillance 24/7. I think even my driver's license was just a thin piece of paper with like a lamination over it. Oh, shit. Yeah, like laminated. They would peel apart and fall apart. Your license would fall out. Nothing was really secure. Online banking was horrible. Everything was just so simple. It was still, phones plugged into the wall in your house. You can go pick up a phone and, key somebody's number in. I still remember so many phone numbers from back then. Like, if you didn't know the number, you wouldn't call anybody.
Right. I just seen a video on TikTok, actually, of a mom showing her younger daughter, how it works. And you have to, like, dial the number, let it clock all the way back, and then choose the next number. Yeah. And then if you get it wrong, you got to start over. Yeah. That sounds terrible.
Yes. It's terrible. It was terrible. But we didn't know. Yeah. We didn't know any better. That was high tech. It was like, wow, you can do this and call somebody. And then eventually the punch keys came out, made it a little bit better, But you still had to plug a phone into the wall. I mean, we had cordless phones by the time I was 25, but still you couldn't walk too far away from the base, so you lose your signal. Yeah. So yeah, things have just completely changed. I remember around that same time frame that the TVs were being flipped over from the big wide CRT screens or the big screens, monitors, into flat screens, or at least they were not LCDs yet, but they were plasmas. They were very heavy. But I had an opportunity to get in on a business deal with a guy who was going to replace all the TVs in all the hotels. Oh, wow. And I said to myself, and this is one of the very few times I didn't see it. I was like, these hotels are going to buy all these damn TVs. Get out of here, right? The guy became a multimillionaire. Wow. He did. I didn't invest in that one. I didn't get involved in it. But sure enough, like he said, every hotel room in every single country and everywhere on the planet is going to change their TVs to this. And he was right.
That was kind of like your digital clock.
Digital radio, car stereo. Yeah, I had that prophecy in my mind of the digital car stereo era. And when it came, I was ready. And I literally went out there and bought them wholesale radios when I was in junior high school. And I sold them. I made a lot of money. That was in the 80s. Yeah.
Wow. That's actually great to hear you say that, because it sounds like at 25 you didn't have it all figured out yet. No. And definitely in my generation and the way that people my age or even younger are making so much money these days, it can seem like you're like really behind and you can really down yourself. Yeah. And it can really weigh on you. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's possible. I can see how that can happen. I didn't have it all figured out. I was doing a little bit better than some just because I was already had a lot of experience from the time I was 12. But had I not had that epiphany moment and had that little bit of experience, I could see where it would took me even longer, All right. And one thing I realized was that you can never really get down on yourself for feeling like that, because even I had moments of feeling like that, believe it or not, where I feel like, man, I'm not getting it done. I'm not doing enough. I'm not at the level I want to be at. And you just have to realize that everyone's on their own path. Everyone's on their own journey. And when I came to the realization that I was on my own journey, block out all the noise, forget about the Joneses, forget about the neighbors and the friends and what they're doing here and there. Just focus on myself, you know?
All right.
And when I began to just think about me and myself and focus on my own journey, it was a lot easier to accept where I was and where I was going versus comparing myself to other people. And the problem I had, I was comparing myself to older people too, which was bad. Yeah. Never do that.
No. That's actually where I'm coming to now in my life, because that's been a huge problem that I've had to continue to keep working on, is comparing myself, especially to older people who are already, they've been doing this for a long time and they're up there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, because my mentality is always, if they can do it, then I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta take some time.
Takes a little time, a little experience.
Yeah.
It's almost like you wake up in the middle of the night and it's dark, right? And your eyes aren't that focused yet. So now you're kind of like stumbling around, trying to move around to make it out of the room or go to the bathroom or something. That's how it feels like when you're young and you're trying to find your way. Mm-hmm. You don't have enough life experiences yet. Right. And so because you haven't accumulated that data, your mind doesn't have any data points to look back on to figure out what the next move is or what the next step is. Right. You know, I started learning that we operate on data collection. This is how we live our lives. Mm-hmm. We collect data, and that data is saved. And then we access data from the past. And that data from the past gives us our intention of how we should move in the future. Without understanding what the past is like, we can't move into the future. This is why I studied the ancient past so much. Yeah. I realized it's an anomaly, or it's a analogy for life. So if a baby's walking past an electric outlet and it tries to stick its finger in, you'll tap it on its finger and say no, right? Or if it does, it's going to get shocked. Yeah. Either way, it's going to learn, don't do that again. All right. If it survives. You know what I'm saying? And so now the next time the baby passes by that electric outlet, the baby's like, oh, this is not a good thing to touch. Well, how did it know that? It was data collected, data information stored in the mind, and it tapped into the past experiences, and it knew, okay, no, this, don't touch. Yeah. Danger. And so when you're young, you don't have a lot of those past experiences yet because you're in that moment. You're living it, right, in real time, and your past experiences up to that point are just you being a teenager or a child. All right. So you haven't accumulated enough data to understand and be confident and secure in everything that you do yet. So it's okay to be stumbling in the dark a little bit, you know, as long as you can find a mentor or somebody to help guide you and give you some shortcuts, you'll be good. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I wanted to ask, because I've been really working on this, trying to figure out who I am. Mm-hmm. How would you say, like, how do you figure out who you are? Yeah, that's a great question. So that's probably the question I get asked the most. Yeah. Because a lot of people think I figured out who I am, and I actually did. But I went through a process to figure out who I am. It wasn't instant. It wasn't like, oh, I woke up, I know who I am. Mm-hmm. Just like everyone else, like you and everybody else, I had to learn too. But I came up with a method to do that. And my method, I invented myself. Now, somebody may say they know about this or they've done it before on their own. This is how I did it. Took out a piece of paper and a pencil. All right. We don't really have those around the house anymore. So I guess now you're going to take out a tablet. I'm going to my notes. Go to your notes on your phone, right? Man, you guys got good eyes these days. Holy crap. This is crazy. I mean, can you imagine a little tiny, and these phone buttons, and my hands are so big, these little phone buttons. I'm typing the wrong letters half the time. I got to triple read my captions on social media to make sure I'm not typing crazy stuff. And now you got to have the glasses on. Yeah, now I got to have the glasses on top of them, which I don't have on right now. Couldn't find them. But anyway, what you do is you get out a piece of paper and a pencil or your note. The reason why I like the paper and pencil, because there's something about writing with your hand, you know, down pen to paper or pencil to paper. The reason why I use a pencil is like an erase. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. So the first part you're going to do is you're going to have the paper out and you're going to take time writing down all the things about yourself that you like. You're going to write down all the things that you would like to even do. Attributes about yourself, things that you like, things you believe in about yourself, like your personality traits and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. And you're also going to write down, like I said, things you like to do. Like you like to do videos and commercials and video editing and graphics and lead funnels and marketing pages and things like that. All the things you're passionate about, filming. you're writing all these things down. But even outside of that, what else is it? You like sports, you like to exercise, you like fitness, right? You like to run, you're in this run club. All these things you like to do should end up being, if you take a good hour or maybe 2 hours and take your time and wait for the epiphanies to go, oh yeah, I like this too. And you write down all this stuff on this paper. You're going to have a paper full of all this information. Yeah. And then you can sit back and you're looking at yourself. What you did was you literally felt the emotion of the things you like and felt the emotion of the personality traits you felt were you. And you translated them and encoded them out of yourself into a piece of paper. It's like encoded hormones and feelings that came out of your body onto a piece of paper. Now you're looking at that paper, you're looking at what you've extracted from yourself.
All right.
And as you're looking at it, you begin to see a mirror of who you are. You didn't know only because you weren't able to detect all the little tiny attributes and emotions and feelings and likes and wants. But once you write it all out and take your time and look at it, you're like, oh yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
You're not your name. You're not the religion, right? You're not your race. You are what you put on that paper. And then once you do that, what I would do is I get another piece of paper, and then I would then start taking my time and organizing those in the order, like the order of highest priority to least priority. And the reason why I have a pencil is because I can erase. Oh, let me change that around. Maybe this goes higher than that or whatever. Now you just can backspace on a phone or whatever. So it's easier. But that I would organize who I thought I was in this particular format.
Yeah.
And now I can go line by line by line. This is me. This is who I am. I'm not Billy Carson. Somebody gave me that name, right?
Yeah.
And so now I understand truthfully who I am because of this process, which took me probably about 3 hours. It's not something that you rush. You don't rush through this. You take your time. It might take you a week to fill out the whole thing. Yeah. You take your time until when it's done, you finally feel like, wow, I finally know who I am. You extract it from your own self.
I'm actually going to try that out.
Yeah.
I'm on a huge self-discovery journey, personal development journey right now. And I was watching a video, and I wanted to see what you thought about this. His name is Joseph Rodriguez on YouTube. But he was saying that you are consciously who you choose to be. So what do you think about that statement? Because what if somebody writes, their stuff on a piece of paper, but they don't like who they are?
Well, some people don't like who they are. Now, that's a broad statement, and I understand where he's coming from with that statement, because I can choose to be courageous, right? I can choose to be fearless. I can choose to be resilient. I can choose to be persevering. Those are the choices I think he's trying to refer to. Some people might take it out of context. A lot of people, unfortunately, are not happy with themselves, primarily because of all the programming code they've been given to tell them who they are and what they like.
Right.
And they're battling against these unseen forces of programming codes that have been put into them since they were a little tiny baby, and they don't know how to fight against it, and they're living a life that they feel is not theirs. And that's what's making them anxious, depressed, frustrated, pissed off, triggered, and everything else, right? And so for those people, the system I just gave you would be phenomenal. It would be a phenomenal therapy for them, because now they get to extract from themselves who they think they really are. On this paper, I don't write down anything negative. Like, I'm not writing down anything bad about myself. I'm not writing down anything that I'm not good at. I'm only focusing on the good things about myself and the things that I would like to do or be a part of, even if I don't know how to do them. If I want to be a grand pianist, I'm going to put grand pianist on the paper, right?
Yeah.
Something I would love to be able to do, even though I can't do it. But maybe I can find a way to learn how to do it, or maybe I can be a part of a production where there's a grand piano involved, or somehow I will connect myself to a grand piano. And so by doing that and focusing on the good and focusing on the things you desire to do in terms of your passions, you push the darkness to the side. This isn't about working on shadow work. It's about finding out who you are in the high frequency mode.
Okay.
Now, the shadow work is a whole nother thing where you have to go in and realize you have been programmed. You have been tricked. You have been hoodwinked and led astray, as Malcolm X used to say.
Yeah.
And we need to now go in and reprogram the subconscious. And to do that, it's a step-by-step process to unlearn what you've learned and then reprogram yourself with positivity. And that all starts with affirmations. Reprogramming yourself by, writing down affirmations. Write down 9 affirmations about yourself, positive things, right? I am an architect of my life, like, my song,
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm healthy. I'm wise. All the things, I'm fearless. I will persevere. All the good things, you want to affirm into yourself, to go against the darkness. And you write that down. You write down at least 9. You speak them out loud 3 times a day. And you do that for 21 days. Your DNA will be rewritten, scientifically proven. This has been done in a laboratory setting. So you can now begin to reprogram the subconscious. And also, the more you affirm these things, the more your subconscious believes it,
Right.
the more you transform who you are from a person that is depressed, filled with darkness and doubt, to a person that's confident, happy, and affirming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely do agree with that, but I also do think that alongside with that, you have to put yourself in these environments to where you can work on the things that you're trying to affirm about yourself.
I agree.
Except, for example, me doing this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm the last person who wants to be in front of a camera and talking.
That I agree. I'm kind of shocked that you're doing this. I was like, hey, Dad, I want to do a new podcast. I'm like, new podcast?
I do not want to be
eating the nanoparticle. He's eating the nanoparticle silver.
But I see this as a way to grow personally.
Yeah.
And that I truly believe that this will help me in my life.
Oh, I believe that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is very exciting. And hopefully you guys don't cringe on the other side of this thing over there.
Listen, it's a growth process, doing things that are uncomfortable. There were a lot of things people say, man, you do all this stuff, but they don't understand, like, deep down inside, sometimes I don't, it's not, I want to do them, but I don't feel like I'm going to be good at it, or there are some doubts that do creep in from time to time. I just override them,
Right.
I'll override them with my subconscious and my own will. But those same thoughts that everyone else has, I have those thoughts too. You know what I'm saying? I know people think I'm an alien. But I had the same emotions everyone else has. I just found a way to, like, push through those emotions, those self-limiting beliefs. I get them too. And I just push through, and the crazy thing is, the more you push through those feelings of those self-limiting beliefs, the more natural it becomes to overcome them. They might slip in, but you'd be like, man, no, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So over time, it becomes easier and easier to push that negative thought aside and know and stand firm in who you are.
Yeah. That's that last second resistance.
Yeah.
Before you got to be able to push through that.
That's right.
Yeah. I had that. I was having that before we started recording.
So I kept saying, he ain't calling me downstairs to come on this podcast yet. Let me go check on this boy. I said, he's still doing it?
Oh, man. And I can confirm, my dad is not an alien. He's not a CIA agent.
Thank
and
you.
He's not a Freemason.
Right.
And he's not in the Illuminati.
There's no black people in the Illuminati anyway. We didn't get the invite.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next question, I wanted to bring up business and being an entrepreneur, because at this stage in my life right now, I'm how do I say?
Don't say trying.
Yeah, not trying. I am an entrepreneur and I'm building my businesses.
There we go.
And what would you say is the biggest obstacle being an entrepreneur, just starting out, and what are the keys to succeeding being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, one of the biggest obstacles is going to be being a self-starter. Some people would say the money, but it's not the money. I started businesses with almost no dollars, right? It's the self-starting mechanism within the person. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but then they don't want to wake up. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're going to work more than a person that goes to a job every day. You're going to work, you see me, 15, 18 hours, straight. I take my little power nap here and there, but it's like I'm going, and a lot of people don't have the ability to just get up and go to work like that. That's the hard part for a lot of people, being a self-starter. If they are naturally a self-starter, that's great. If they're not, they have to develop that as a mechanism. They have to realize that being an entrepreneur is not a job. It's a lifestyle.
Right.
And being an entrepreneur, you literally are unemployed every single day. Like every day when I wake up, I don't have a job. I have to go out there and get it. Like I have to, that's my mentality is if I don't get up and go to work, then in the future, however long it takes for the cycle to go through, money's not going to show up in my bank account.
Right.
So being an entrepreneur becomes a complete lifestyle. It's like when I used to coach basketball. I coached basketball, as you know, U.S. Junior Olympics, AAU, USSSA, travel ball, and morning, noon, and night was basketball.
Yeah.
7 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the gym with the girls, right? Your sisters, Bobby and April. I'm training with them. Then we go into school. I'm volunteering at school. I'm training them at school. Then we got the games at school, or we got training after school. Then we're hopping in vans and buses or airplanes, and we're going to tournaments. I'm recruiting players. I'm scouting players. It's a lifestyle. Yeah. You cannot be the high-level coach I got to and have 15 gold medals without making it a lifestyle, right? So that same thing translates into everything in life, especially being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And so when you're an entrepreneur, the next thing is being able to bootstrap yourself. And that means finding a way to come up with the money to keep going. Yeah. The hard part.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I experienced that.
How much did I spend on those ads again? I need a hamburger right now. Facebook took my hamburger money. Tell me I ain't lying.
No, that's a fact. Right. Oh man.
I know. I let you, go. And the reason why I don't bail you out every single time is because I want you to experience some of that grind and some of that grit. I want you to feel a little bit of that pain. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't feel it, then you won't really know what it's like to be on an island by yourself and be an entrepreneur. There's nobody that I can't make a phone call right now to anybody and say, hey, my rent's due, my car payment's due, my company's bills are due, and have somebody say, oh, no problem, I'm gonna send it to you right now. I don't have anybody like that. There's nobody I can call to come save me. Yeah. And so, I want you to be able to realize when you get as an entrepreneur, if you're really passionate about what you're doing, and I see you are, when you get into that mode where it's do or die, right? Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden something strange happens. The brain starts finding solutions and makes these calculations and tries to find ways to connect the dots and make collaborations and hookups and connections. And the next thing you know, you find a way out through the matrix. Right. And that's such a crucial role to play to figure that out. Because once you figure it out, you now can do it in any situation. And then you won't panic ever again. So I try to let you grow into what you're doing enough to where you could begin to realize how to navigate this matrix, how to go through these little hard times and these tough times and make the right connections, make the right pivots. Pivoting is so important as an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. If you become an entrepreneur and you stay in the same path forever, you're not going to make it.
For sure. I definitely learned how to pivot, for sure.
Because you'll be done. You will be done, man. The world will pass you by. Yeah. You got to pivot out here. It's moving. The world's moving so much faster now. Mm-hmm. Years ago when I was younger, in my 20s or whatever, it wasn't this fast. And, I was doing old school marketing. My first marketing company was putting flyers on cars and doors and putting signs on walls and light posts and classified ads in newspapers nationwide. Now it's all the digital media, and everything's moving so fast. And the next thing you know, a trend could die tomorrow. You could just launch it. Yeah, the algorithm can change tomorrow, and you just figured the algorithm out. Yeah. So it's so much pivoting. It's like we're doing this ballet, and we're on our toes all the time, so our toes are bleeding. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, but if a person can really dig in, if they really are passionate about being an entrepreneur, they have to realize that it's going to come with a lot of challenges. Yeah. If they're not passionate about doing it, then they shouldn't do it. It's not for everybody. Right. Otherwise, everybody would be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. No, I definitely appreciate that you're letting me kind of figure out my own way, because I definitely think that it has helped me develop, increase my level of resilience and willpower to keep pushing forward. and to keep believing in myself and finding different ways to pivot, as you said, to figure out what the solutions are to whatever my problems are.
Yeah, yeah. And you're doing a great job. I see it. I see you networking. I see you collaborating. I see you getting your own accounts, getting your own deals. You're starting to remind me of me when I was your age, you know? And that's what I like to see. I'm like, yeah, he's going to make it. You know, definitely going to make it. I can see it in you. I can see you have the talent, the skill. And then whatever skill you didn't have, I saw you develop it right before my eyes. That's another characteristic that a lot of people don't realize. In order to be an entrepreneur and be in your own business, whatever it is you're providing, whatever that service or that product is, whatever it is, it has to be the very best you can do.
Right.
And a lot of people do it half-assed. So they're going to kind of give you something decent, but they're just more interested in collecting the money. They have no real pride in the work and the work ethic and what they're putting out. But when you really are passionate about the actual work you're putting out, which I can see you have, all of a sudden, that becomes a passion project. And when it becomes a passion project, you're not focused on the money, you focus on the project, and the project will just bring you the money.
Right. And I definitely learned this along the way. Shout out 19 Keys. He said, this is the first person I heard say this, but he said, don't chase money, chase value. Right. When you chase the money, it's always running away from you.
Yeah.
But when you chase the value, the money is going wherever the value is at.
Boom.
So that definitely changed my mindset from going from chasing the money to becoming a more valuable person and becoming the most valuable in whatever skill sets that I have.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's the key. And that's what I see you developing. And it's like, it's refreshing to watch, to be honest with you, because a lot of people, you know, as soon as they hit a little bit of adversity, they just give up.
Yeah.
But you just keep fighting through the adversity. And that's what it takes, man. I mean, you see me, I fight through so much adversity.
Yeah.
I'm like a heavyweight boxer, you know, I'm slugging it out. I'm rope-a-doping. I'm doing everything because I still believe in myself. And the best thing you can have is belief in yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing, you'll always find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the power of belief is like one of the most powerful things you can in the universe.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You can get through anything. I mean, you were a boxer, you know, you were state champion boxing. And I mean, you can't get in that ring unless you believe you're going to win. If you don't believe you're going to win, you're going to get a TKO. You're going to be TKO'd.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely times when I got in the ring and if I for whatever reason wasn't there mentally believing in myself, I got destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, I always did believe in myself because I put the work in.
Yeah.
So, and I studied and, you know, and I had great teachers. So it just gave me ultimate confidence every time I stepped in the ring.
Right. That's what it's all about, the confidence. Knowing you being confident in your craft because you put the time in.
Yeah.
And being an entrepreneur requires putting time in.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of being an entrepreneur, this video is sponsored by Noble Metals Wellness. This is a company that I co-founded. These products are everyday use products like deodorant, soap, cleaning spray, things like that. And they're 100% natural. They're aluminum free, paraben free. All the scented products that we have are essential oils, so no fragrances. So if you're interested in better for you products, check us out. The link will be in the description of this video.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm proud of you for, you know, doing that, for helping find a way to change the world, because so many of us are using products that aren't fully healthy for us, you know, the best for us. And, you know, myself included, sometimes I like to use as many products as I can. They don't have chemicals in them, but sometimes I don't find them without the chemicals. And some of the products you have, I found them without the chemicals. Matter of fact, I have on your deodorant right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, so thank you for that.
How do you practice and balance spirituality with business in your daily life?
So that's a good question. You know, spirituality and business actually go together. So I balance my spirituality. I leverage it into the business because the business is my lifestyle. So trying to keep spirituality separate from business when I'm living the business lifestyle, the entrepreneurial lifestyle, would mean that I'm not allowing my spiritual aspects and concepts to influence my business ideas and my business decisions. And because I want that extra high dimensional decision-making ability, I want that higher level of discernment, and I want accountability and from spirituality to be implemented in the business, I mix those two together, right? And so, you know, being a spiritual being and being a spiritual person, it requires you to, to have certain attributes. And those are the same attributes, positive attributes that I would like to influence within business. So I'm not going to lie, cheat, steal, rob. I'm going to be straight up trustworthy. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, right? I'm going to have good communication skills. I'm going to deliver my product or services on time to the best of my ability instead of unlikely if there's any unforeseen situations. And I'm going to give it 100% of myself, right? The same things that you would want to do if you're in a spiritual practice. You implement the same exact template into business, and then all of a sudden you're building a business that really is influenced by your spiritual aspects. And to me, there's no other way to do business than that, because now, I'm not going to acquiesce to the things that are going on the outside that want me to do things that might not be to my benefit, to my following. I hate to call them followers, but my leaders' benefit, because it could be detrimental to them. For example, I had many sponsorship opportunities come to me from mainstream product brands. But I know that those product brands have chemicals in their products, food products, personal use products. And I had a choice. Do I take this huge lump sum of money? I could have made by now $500,000 on these offers. But I chose not to take that money. Why? Because I know that the people that have been supporting me and following my accounts and building with me over all these years, they would look at me like, you got to be a sellout to be taking these. You know what I'm saying? Like, you taking the money from these corporations to promote this toxic stuff to us?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way in the world. But see, I've seen people do this, kind of really just sell out. And unfortunately, a lot of athletes do it. They're not going to drink Mountain Dew. Come on. They're not drinking no damn Mountain Dew and getting NBA championships. Get out of here. They're not drinking Mountain Dew. But they got a commercial drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It's like, man, for real? Like, these kids can't drink Mountain Dew and become a version of you. So what kind of message are you sending to these kids? Well, that's why I say it's important to bring the spirituality into the business, because it's my guiding force. It's my barometer to tell me yes and no, and it holds me accountable. And so, yes, I'd love to have the $500,000.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not to the detriment of my own soul and spirit and the people that are following me, spirits and soul, because I'll be putting them into a mix where they're going, okay, well, Billy said it's good, so let's get it. A lot of younger generation follow me.
Right.
And they'll be influenced by what I do. So if I make a commercial or post a commercial to some toxicity, some of them will actually get it or use it because they think I'm using it, but I'm not. And so that's this illusion that happens in marketing, where these big corporations reel in these big time names and get them to promote stuff that they themselves would never ever use.
Facts.
Crazy.
On the topic of spirituality, a lot of people always automatically assume, because of your beliefs, that you kind of like, I guess, forced it on me.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, they always ask, what did you learn that from your dad, or something along those lines?
Yeah.
And I always have to explain to them, like, you've never forced your beliefs onto me ever.
No, none of the kids, nobody.
So I actually grew up majority Christian.
Yep.
And I went on my own spiritual journey and found my own way and my own beliefs.
Yes, you did.
So,
yeah. I remember the day you came in the room. I think you were a teenager. You said, "Hey, Dad, I don't believe in Christianity anymore. I read the Sumerian tablets." I said, "Oh, shoot. You did what?" And you said, "Yeah, I'm a follower of spirituality." I was like, "Oh, okay."
yeah.
Yeah, I never forced my ideology, my belief system, my research on anybody, none of the kids specifically, So you never had me come at you and go, this is the way it is, and you need to, this is how it went down, and you need to repeat this out, I never did that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't read the Sumerian tablets because like my dad planted the seed, because he would always, play certain videos in the car, and I would always hear about it. But what kind of really sparked it was in high school, my history teacher made us read the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Boom. There you go.
And as I'm reading it, I'm like, well, this is the story of Noah. But then I'm like, this is thousands of years before the Noah story. So that's really what sparked my curiosity into investigating more ancient texts.
Wow. Shout out to that teacher. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So,
wow.
Yeah. And then always growing up, I would always have certain questions about like the story of Abraham and how God told him to kill his son.
Oh, yeah.
At the last second. At the last second, he was like, all right, you good.
Yeah, you good. Don't put the knife down. I was just tricking. I was just joking.
I was just checking. You
Come on, man.
Even though he's supposed to know that he was going to do that anyway.
It's addictive. That's really, oh, wow, that really is sadist. It's like, getting a person to go all out. The amount of stress that man was under, the amount of pressure he was under, thinking that God's telling him he's got to go and slay his own son, and then he gets him up there and he's getting ready to shove this sword or his knife through his heart.
All right.
And then, I'm just tripping. I just want to see if you was really going to do this. You my boy now. Come on, man. Get out of here.
I always thought that was crazy.
Bull crap.
But I'm not an atheist.
Yeah.
Like, I believe in a creator and
Me too.
of the universe. And I believe the creator is within all of us. Yeah. So
I'm glad you came to that own understanding on your own without me influencing you. Without me, shoving it down your throat or forcing you into it. Yeah. I just let all of y'all just go on your own journey, Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to watch because every single one of you, there's 5 of y'all are on your own path. And I'm just watching, like I'm on a mountaintop looking down, watching, say what y'all doing. I see Justin's over here, April's over here, Bobby's over here, Giovanni's over here, and he's over there somewhere. he's on the island somewhere out there.
He got kicked out the garden.
Oh God, he got kicked out of the garden. There's Cat. We love you, man, but man, come back to the garden. So good grief. Anyway, so everyone's on their own journey, and that's the way it is. And I just want you to confirm something too, because I did a video with Regina Meredith. That was a few years ago on Gaia. And on that interview, I was being interviewed by her. I talked about not beating my kids. So can you talk about that?
Yeah. I've never gotten a beating from you. I don't even ever really remember you yelling at me like that, to be honest with you. So, and I remember as a kid, I would do a lot of bonehead stuff.
Yeah. All kids are going to do that.
Yeah.
Like throw yourself down the staircase inside of a suitcase and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what?
But I definitely did get whoopings though from on my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I feel like I turned out okay, but like you always say, like it's a low percentage of people that turn out okay.
Yeah, it's a low percentage. It really is. I really wish it was a high percentage, but unfortunately, it's a low percentage. And there's been a lot of studies done on this, a lot of psychological, real hardcore peer-reviewed science. Like this isn't just a belief system I made up. There's real data on it. And the reason why I started looking up the data on it was because I would go back to the hood where I grew up, and I would just to ride through and just reminisce nostalgically, and I would see and hear stories about the people I grew up with, either locked up, dead, shot, just not doing well, drugs, depression, and I'm like, damn, these are the same kids that were getting beat because we were all the same age. They were getting beat, getting their butt whipped, getting beat with switches and extension cords and belts and everything else. And look at them. They're all sick or dead or locked up. So that triggered me to go to the library. So I started looking up psychological studies on the effect of beating children. And I found that there was a lot. And now you can just go on the internet.
Yeah.
And you can pull them right up in seconds. I had to go do hardcore research in the library for this information. But it really is detrimental. And I made a decision at that point that I would never do that, ever. Because I realized it was just going to make them sick. I was going to put more trauma in their life than they already have, living in the condition that they were already in. But regardless whether they're kids living in poverty or living rich, there's a specific level of trauma that it does to the body. And for some kids, it turns into PTG, post-traumatic growth. So they learn from their past experience and they become better. Their behavior changes. But for the majority of the kids, it turns into PTSD, unfortunately. And that leads into other areas of life where they grow up and they can't figure out why they're a drug addict, why they're an abuser, why they can't stay out of trouble, why they're depressed, and all these different things. Right. These scientific studies show it's linked to being beaten as a child. Another thing, I know I don't talk too long about this, but another problem I saw was, at least when I was growing up, they would have the father beat the child. So the mother would be like, when your dad gets home, he's going to beat your ass. Mm-hmm. So, and this was in my household too. So now, I'm the oldest. My brother and sister do something wrong. Now I'm going to get beat with them too because I'm the oldest. So like I'm supposed to be their daddy or something. I'm supposed to be like controlling what they do. I'm looking at them like they babies because I'm making some grown decisions over here. And these kids are doing some crazy stuff. Now why I got to get beat? Now I'm getting told that when he gets home, I'm going to get beat. Now he's running around the streets all day, stressed out, trying to find money, right? He's like a shade tree mechanic or whatever. And then he delivers newspapers at night. So he's working almost 24 hours a day. He's on drugs and he's alcoholic on top of everything else.
He about to wear you out. I'm
like, what the hell? Why am I getting beat? So think about that. As a man, you're out in the street. You got a family at home. He's naturally a depressed human being already because he lost his mother when he was a teenager and he lost his father. His father left and never came home one day. So that made him go to drugs and alcohol for the escape. But then on top of it, he's trying to grind and find a way to make money, but he don't have a lot of skills. Yeah. So he's like literally just grinding and hustling, trying to find any way to get a couple dollars to feed the family. And so now he's stressed out all day long. He's working his fingers to the bone. Then he comes home in the middle of the night. We're already sleeping, ready for school the next day. And now he's being told by his wife, he got to take his belt off and beat the kids. Damn. Can you imagine? All the frustration from the bad day and the stress of being broke and the stress of not being able to make it. And now you're hearing your kids were out of line and now you're going to take it out on the kids. Yeah. So you don't really spank them, you beat them. And there's a difference between spanking and beating. Right. And so now you're literally abusing the kids. I would I would put on long pants pajamas and a long sleeve pajama shirt. And I would take magazines and I would roll them up, right, underneath my clothes. And I would have myself wrapped up like I was wrapped up like a Christmas gift, okay? And I'd lay there waiting for that ass whooping, and I'd just make all the noise. And then when he left the room, I'd take the magazines out. Listen, I'm up here at the forbidden knowledge. Forbidden ass beatings wasn't for me, okay? Shoot. I had all kind of techniques to avoid getting beat bad. But we went up on a tangent on this one, but
I've tried the multiple layer clothes method, but it just never worked for me.
Let me tell you a secret. It's too late for you now. I would get you have a corner. So you're in the corner of a 90-degree angle. So when it got time to get these spankings, if it was daytime, I would go stand in the corner because the belt hits one side of the wall, it barely hits you, and then hits the other part of the wall. The wall is taking the majority of the inertia. So the inertia is going into the wall, not me. So I just make the noise, and then I'm fine. My brother would run all over. I said, don't run. He would run and get beat. He'd get his ass beat all up and down the street. But me, I just go stand in the corner and let the wall take the inertia of the belt. Oh, man. Yeah, man. You got to have technique in this. It's a matrix. Everything's a matrix.
Yeah. Did it ever get to a point to where like you were getting beat, but it didn't hurt anymore because you like got older?
I guess. Well, yeah. I mean, when my mom used to try to spank me, sometimes she would use her hand. Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, okay, mom.
My mom did that to me once.
It's like, okay.
And it didn't hurt.
No.
And then she was like, oh, you're not. Something like, oh, it didn't hurt or something like that. So I fake cried.
I got to go get a belt. I'm going to go get a bat. I heard that one time. I was like, no, don't go get the belt. Go get a bat. A bat. I said, don't go get the bat. Jeez, don't go get the bat. Oh, my gosh. So you see the trauma of this? Yeah. I have scars on my right hip because my mom beat me with a belt buckle one time. Mm. It's just like I got beat with extension cords, and I'm like, I was a good kid. I came home with straight A's all the time. I remember I had an A- one time. I came home crying like you wouldn't. That was snot crying because I had an A-. I thought I was going to get beat. Mm-hmm. And my mom laughed because it was an A-. And then, of course, I realized A- was still good. But I didn't know. But because of the trauma of the ass whoopings, I thought I was going to get beat for not being excellent. So you can see how that can even set up somebody to be a perfectionist and an overthinker. That could have happened to me as well from those butt whoopings. Luckily, that didn't happen. But you can see how in some people, it might turn a person into an overthinker or a perfectionist, which isn't a good trait to have sometimes.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So do you think there's ever a situation where you would give your kid a whooping?
I think that whoopings are no good. I think that you can get the same effect talking, coming to an understanding, eye contact, silence is also good. You know, I mean, you're aware of when I'm not happy, right? When I'm not happy with something you've done, it'll make you upset because, you know, I'm upset. But also I think when they're very young, something like a kid putting his hand into an electric outlet and just saying no, like being very abrupt and strong with the no, of course, that's just letting them know this is dangerous. Little things like that, you know, but all out just whooping a kid. Kids are going to be kids, and they're going to do dumb things. They're going to learn from experiences. They might act out some, and some kids might act out more than others.
Yeah.
The ones that act out more than others might have something wrong with their brain. Not that they're disabled or have disability, but they might have some misfiring in there, and they need to you probably need to get a SPECT scan and see where there's a blood flow issue so you can work with that, not go straight to the pharmaceuticals. But either way, some kids are going to act out more than others. Some kids are going to act more wild than others. Some kids are going to be more distracted than others. But you have to learn as a parent on how to deal with that. You have to learn how to get some parenting guides, some parenting books, some psychology and reverse psychology. And you have to understand how to work with that child in a better way versus just all out saying, you know, every time they do something, I'm going to whoop them. Because if a kid's acting out and you whip him, that's not going to stop him from acting out. He's going to act out and you're going to be whooping him for the whole time he's in school until he graduates. And then he's going to grow up and be a grown man and he's still going to be acting out on the streets.
Right.
What benefit did you do? All those butt whoopings and all that stress and trauma that you use on yourself and on the kid, they did absolutely nothing. A small percentage will make it out, okay, but the rest will suffer for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't have kids yet, but I always wonder, like, how would I discipline my kids?
Yeah. So. You know, I just think being firm with them when they're wrong, you know, letting them know, letting them understand that you're not happy. If you really develop a good connection with your child and they love you and you love them and they know that's there, that connection's there, when you're upset with them, it's going to make them so upset that they let you down.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen that with you. You know what I'm upset with you? I've seen you cry because of that. I didn't have to yell at you. I didn't have to curse you out. I didn't have to call you out of your name. I didn't have to go grab a bat. You know what I'm saying? I just had to show you that I was not happy with something that you had done at that particular time, whatever year that was. That was a long while ago. Years ago, but still, you know, and so it's like, it's this knowing that you develop with the child, you know, children have it with each other. Siblings have it with each other.
Yeah.
And it's the same exact technique. And just, I think mastering that is the best thing a parent can do. And also another thing is a parent controlling their emotions, because parents don't realize, they forget they're dealing with a child.
Yeah.
They start trying to put the child's mind in their logic level. No, you're up here. The child is down here. This is a kid, a baby's mind or a child's mind that's still empty. It doesn't have any experiences in it yet. And now all of a sudden you're trying to judge this kid based on your life experiences and where you are at that particular moment in your life. You're 54 or 32 or 28 or whatever you are. And this kid's 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
This kid doesn't know anything. So I see these kids as innocent angels that just are stumbling in the dark trying to find their way.
Right.
So, you know, being your age now and, you know, mid-20s, what is the dating pool like for a man of your age?
I can't really speak on what the dating pool is as of right now, because at this point in my life, I really have decided to focus on my own life and bettering my own self so that I can be the man I want to be for my future wife.
Okay, I love it.
All right, so not recently, but it's been maybe like 5 or 6 months now. But getting out of a relationship, and I believe that relationships are meant to teach you about yourself, and relationships can help you learn about yourself.
Yeah.
And what I learned from that relationship was a few things that I needed to learn to better myself, as far as communication. Like, you know, that's been like a huge struggle with me is communication.
Yeah.
And it's for a few reasons. One, because I've come to the realization that when I say things to people, it can come off as like offensive sometimes. And I never have any bad intentions to anybody. So I'm just, just speaking my mind or whatever. But some people take offense to maybe how I said it or what I said. And so when I kind of figured that out, I took it as, okay, I'm going to just keep my thoughts to myself. And obviously that's not a good thing.
I was trying to figure out what the hell is he telling me? I don't know what's going on.
Right. And then another part of it is, like, I grew up mainly like by myself. Like, I didn't grow up with my siblings.
Yeah.
So it's just mainly been me. Like, so I didn't really have friends like that.
Right.
Like,
You didn't have a lot of communication requirements.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just, I don't really know what to say.
Right.
And then sometimes it's just, I don't have anything to say.
Right. Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
but it's really, that relationship really made me want to improve my communication and just speaking my mind freely and expressing myself. And then another thing that it taught me was, it really opened my eyes to one of my main goals in life is to have a family that stays together.
I love it.
And I believe to do that as a man, you have to be able to lead the relationship. And during this point in my life, I couldn't lead a relationship because I couldn't even lead myself. Right? I didn't have any direction going in my life myself. During this time, mentally, I was depressed during this time. I didn't have any, like, I was losing my fire. Like, every like setback and like failure was like slowly eating away at my confidence and beating me up and beating me down.
Yeah.
And that was leaking over into my relationship. And so, like, I don't even blame her for breaking up with me. Like, as we were still together, I was like, this girl's gonna break up with me. I already know. I could already feel it happening. So, but it really taught me that I need to find out who I am and really develop myself as a person, become the best version of myself.
Yeah.
So that when I do meet somebody, that I can lead the relationship in the right way, in the right direction, and then not only lead the relationship, when eventually when I have a family and have kids, I can lead my kids in the right direction, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's really what my main focus is on.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing phenomenal. The fact that you have that epiphany at your age, you already passed me in that area. At your age, I didn't have that epiphany in that area. I had the epiphany for knowledge outside of relationships. I had the epiphany for knowledge and wisdom dealing with, science, technology, physics, chemistry, biology. I could recite the periodic table of elements. But my mind, even though I was struggling with relationships, I never had that awakening that you have right now for that. And I can't blame it on my upbringing. I did grow up in a very dysfunctional household. And so that kind of toxic environment became what my mindset is the norm, except for, of course, not the beatings. I just couldn't do the beating thing and the yelling thing. But the navigating relationship thing for me, it was very difficult. But I never had the epiphany at the age of 25 like you did. My mind went to other stuff, business, entrepreneurship, and things like that, which I did very well in, but still then struggled in the other area, even though I was with one woman for almost 20 years. But it's like, to do that now, to have that understanding now at your age, you're gonna be an incredible husband and father, because if I would have started that mindset you have now at your age, man, I would have made so many different decisions on who I selected to be a wife, who I selected to be the mother of my children, and also even the way that I fathered my children. Now, I did the best I could as a father, but now I have so much more knowledge about parenting that I would love to have been able to implement even further back then. You know, it's a life journey, man. But if I had the epiphany that you have now back then,
Right.
I think there would have been a totally different outcome in terms of the way that everything panned out. You know, so all I could do now is it's in the past.
Yeah.
All I could do now is build for the future. But like I told you even the other day, I think I was talking to you or either Boosie. I was like, you know, my main focus now is I have all this other knowledge. I just need to master this relationship knowledge, you know, and make better choices on who I'm selecting to be my spouse or my mate, because I haven't given up on love yet. But I'm now having this epiphany at this age, right? So double your age, basically. And so it's great that you're having that now, because you're going to be a phenomenal father and husband. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I'm when I'm super successful and have accomplished everything in my life, I'm going to point to that as the turning point, because that could have gone a different way.
Yeah.
You know, like my life is at this point in time is falling apart around me, broke, no money, just out here struggling. Mind is not in it, depressed, whatever you want to, you know, you name it. And then girlfriend breaks up with you on top of that.
That's tough. She's a beautiful girl too. That's tough.
So that could have went a totally different way. But I remember I was outside walking and just analyzing everything that was going on in my life, and just thinking back to when I was a kid. I used to always put my headphones on, put some classical music on, and just visualize the future that I wanted. And just going back to those moments of like, this is not how my life is going to be. Like at this moment, I'm taking back control of my life, and this is how this is going to go down.
I love it.
So I made that decision that day, and you see it. Right now I'm in the best shape of my life.
Oh yeah, you're doing
consistent in the gym. I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I'm eating the right foods. I'm developing new skills, and just continue to keep working on myself.
I love it. I see. I'm a witness. I am an absolute witness to this, and I see it. You're actually motivating me more. I'm like, shit, I got to get to the gym. This man, I went to the gym twice already today. Let me walk my ass down to this gym. You know, so I'm like, this is crazy. But yeah, no, it's really inspirational, man, to see you, this transformative mindset, to see you elevate yourself, to literally grab yourself and pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, you know, because it's what's required. I mean, sometimes I would bail you out in the past, and I was like, son, I sat you down and said, son, I'm not bailing you out again, okay? You're going to have to figure this out. That was a while ago, and since I told you that, truth be told, you have been figuring it out. You're on a great journey. And I see the growth, you know, and forget sky. The multiverse is the limit. You know, there is no limit. You're doing everything the right way. You're being patient. You're taking your time. You're not desperate, you know, and you're methodical about your moves. And that's what it takes to be, you know, uber successful in both relationships and in business. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I really appreciate you. And I was thinking about this earlier. I'm literally one messed up family away from like being homeless or something like that. Like if you weren't there to support me, or my mom, you know, my grandparents, people like that, like I don't have that, you know, a lot of people don't have that luxury of having that support system. Yeah. So, no, man, thank you.
Hey, listen, man, I'm here for you. You know, when I see, like I always tell you, when I see them working, when I see you working, when I see people working on themselves and on what their craft, I'm here to support. You know, it's when sometimes they don't want to do anything. The ones that don't want to do anything, don't want to work on themselves, don't want to work on whatever it is they need to work on, then there has to come a point where I stop bailing them out, because, you know, I'm not a safety net, and I'm not teaching you how to be an adult by doing that. So sometimes I step away and let a person learn. It's tough love, you know. It's not that I want to do that, because I really like, oh, I want to, But, you know, you got to implement the tough love sometimes, or you'll never learn. You know, if I just kept bailing you out over and over and over and over again, you'd still today wouldn't even have this epiphany, this great epiphany, and this understanding about yourself that you have now. You wouldn't have had it because you would have never had a chance to develop it.
Right.
You had to hit rock bottom in order to be able to look up and then experience this whole new projection of reality and take back control of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Powerful stuff, man. Yeah. Wow. Okay, guys, we kind of went off tangent there, but you're looking at some father-son healing moments here. I guess.
This video is sponsored by Noble Metals Wellness. This is a company that I co-founded. These products are everyday use products like deodorant, soap, cleaning spray, things like that. And they're 100% natural. They're aluminum free, paraben free. All the scented products that we have are essential oils, so no fragrances. So if you're interested in better for you products, check us out. The link